Good evening, friends. Welcome to daily practice sheet discussion of 10th of August. So today we have questions from GS paper 1 history section, questions regarding the India's partition. Then we have questions regarding GS paper 2, the role of media in criminal justice system, and then the Pesa Act. We will see its implementation, how far the act has been able to reach its objective. Then what we are going to discuss today is two questions from the IR section, particularly the China's threat in the Indian Ocean. And then we will critically examine the electricity bill, a very important reform which is being introduced. And then one topic from the basically ethics. Okay, so let us start the discussion. So the first topic which I would like to start with, will be the Pesa Act. Okay, will be the Pesa Act. So I'll start with GS paper 2. Analyze the salient features of Pesa. Critically examine its implementation. Okay, this is the question here. So let us try to understand, okay, this Pesa Act. So what I will do before I start answering the question, I'll give you a brief background of the Pesa Act, and then we will critically examine its implementation, guys. So the context, what is the context of this Pesa Act, okay, which is there in today's DPS? The context is the Aam Aadmi Party. Okay, Aam Aadmi Party has come out with its manifesto for the Gujarat election, and in that manifesto in the Gujarat election, the Aam Aadmi Party has said that there will be a strict implementation to the Pesa Panchayat extension to the scheduled area. That is the context. So any question comes next year on the Pesa Act, what will be the context? Why is Pesa Act important? Because the Aam Aadmi Party has come out with a manifesto in Gujarat. And the manifesto is that there must be strict implementation of the Pesa Act. This means what? The implementation which is happening right now is lax implementation. Lax means not effective implementation. Okay. So before we try to understand what is the loopholes, what are the challenges in this Pesa Act's implementation, first let us try to understand what is this Pesa Act. Okay, guys. So we all know that 73rd and 74th Amendment, okay, it led to democratic decentralization in India, which led to what? Three-tier Panchayati Raj system, okay, But there is some area in the country which is called the scheduled area. There are some areas in the country which is called scheduled areas under the fifth schedule, of the constitution, scheduled areas. Okay, these are tribal dominated areas. They have their own system of governance. Which is going on since ages. So they have their own cultural and administrative system. So of governance. Okay. So it was felt that this Panchayati Raj, 73rd Amendment has to make some changes. There must be some changes which must be made to this Panchayati Raj in this scheduled areas. And what is that change? So if you see in this Panchayati Raj which is there were three tiers of governance, but in the Pesa Act, the main foundation will be the Gram Sabha. Okay, so Gram Sabha will play the most important role in the Pesa. So Pesa basically, okay, it is extension of the Panchayati Raj, okay, around the customs and traditions of the tribal area. Because tribal areas have been governing themselves. Okay, they are having this self-governance since ages. So when we apply this Panchayati Raj institution in the tribal area, it should appreciate the local customs, local traditions, okay, which is existent in these tribal areas. And Gram Sabha was empowered to do that. Gram Sabha was empowered to do that because Gram Sabha is nothing but it is an assembly of all the adults in that village or in that forest area. Okay, so let us try to understand what was this Pesa Act and what powers it gave to the Gram Sabha. What powers it gave to the Gram Sabha? See, Gram Sabha, okay, in a scheduled area where the Pesa Act has been implemented and a Gram Sabha in a non-scheduled area, there is a lot of difference. There is a lot of difference. The powers which are exercised with the Gram Sabha in the scheduled areas is tremendous compared to the Gram Sabhas which are not that effective in that beyond the scheduled areas. Let us try to understand what is this Pesa. So Pesa basically, okay, enables the residents of scheduled areas, okay, to basically strengthen the village level bodies, to transfer the power from the government to the Gram Sabha, okay, which is basically nothing but it's a body of all the registered voters in that village, okay. So the powers of Gram Sabha basically includes what? Maintenance of the cultural identity. I told you the tribals have a distinct cultural identity. They have a distinct traditional identity. So it basically it empowers the Gram Sabha to protect the cultural and traditional identity of the tribals, and they also empower the Gram Sabha to control resources which are there in that area. The resources in the form of forest minor produce or the minor minerals okay. So Pesa Act thus enables the Gram Sabha to maintain a kind of safety net so that, okay, that any external law which is made by either the parliament or either the state legislature do not basically impinge upon the traditions and cultures of the tribal areas, okay. So the you see here, the rules state that the Gram Sabha will have to be kept informed by and all the agencies working in the village, and that the Gram Sabha has the power to approve or stop any kind of work. So any kind of developmental work, any kind of development work must have approval of the Gram Sabha. Okay. The rules also give the power of the Gram Sabha over management of the resources. Okay. Resources in the tribal areas. Jal, jungle, jameen. Jal, jungle, jameen. Okay. So the tribals have the power. The tribals have also the power to manage, okay, the markets, the local markets. Okay. Sale, purchase of intoxicants. Okay. Maintain peace. So they have some quasi-judicial functions also. Guys, we all know that getting justice sometimes becomes very costly and time-taking. So these tribal areas, they have their own like quasi-judicial system where they get justice very quickly. Okay, so that is also a role which is performed by the Gram Sabha. So what are the powers which are empowered through the Gram Sabha into this Pesa Act? You see here, first is to be consulted in the matters of land acquisition and resettlement. Okay, any land acquisition which happens in the scheduled area, any land acquisition which happens in the scheduled areas where Pesa has been implemented, guys, you have to take permission from the Gram Sabha. You have to take the approval of the Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha prospective license for minerals leased for minor minerals. Here the word is minor minerals because this was UPSC 2012 prelims question. UPSC 2012 prelims question. Okay, this question had come that the Gram Sabha has the power to give license over minor minerals, not all minerals, minor minerals. Similarly, Gram Sabha has power over minor water bodies, then minor forest produce, then sale of intoxicant, manage the village market, exercise control over the money lending, okay, prevent land alienation from the tribal people. So these are some of the exclusive powers which are given by the Pesa Act to the Gram Sabha. It's very, very, very important, guys. Very, very, very important. So, guys, can I ask you which all are the states where this Pesa Act is basically implemented? Can you tell me? Is valid? Which all the states? How many states are there? Can anyone tell me in the chat box? You can answer in the chat box. Let me see how many of you are able to answer. Guys? It is only applicable to 10 states. Andhra, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Himachal, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan, Telangana. Okay, so these are the states where this Pesa Act is applicable. Basically, it empowers the Gram Sabha to carry out developmental activities, to carry out regulatory activities. Okay, so the power which is there exercised with the Gram Sabha in this Pesa region is very high. Guys, now let us try to understand the implementation. Let us try to understand the implementation. What is the status of implementation? Okay, implementation gaps. What is the status of the implementation? Guys, you will be shocked. You will be shocked to see even the minister himself. Last year, we celebrated 25 years of Pesa. 25 years of Pesa. 25 years of Pesa. Last year, we celebrated because this act came in the 1996. 1996. So last year, we celebrated 25 years of Pesa. And in that celebration of 25 years of Pesa, you know, Honorable Minister himself said, Honorable Minister himself is saying that out of the 10 states, only 5 states have enacted the law. Just imagine. You see here, it's what he says. Only 6 states, namely Andhra, Himachal, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Telangana have notified the Pesa rules. Just imagine. Only 6 states. Out of 10 states, only 6 states. Okay, Andhra, Himachal, Gujarat, Maharashtra. And you see, the major tribal states, Chhattisgarh, not there. Rules have not been notified. Jharkhand, rules have not been notified. Madhya Pradesh, rules have not been notified. Odisha, rules have not been framed. Just imagine. These are the tribal dominated states. And what we see, the Pesa Act has not been implemented in states. But what about implementation, guys? Just imagine. Okay, they have not even framed the rules. Can you imagine the status of implementation? See, to implement any law, first of all, you have to implement and make up the rules. Then only you will start implementation. Just imagine 25 years it is taking to frame rules. What do you think? What is the reason? What is the reason? What is the reason, guys? Can you tell me what is the reason? The reason is apathy. The reason is apathy by the political apathy by the political leaders. Apathy, you know, indifference, indifference, lack of awareness, apathy, vested interest. Why? You know what is vested interest? Once this bureaucratic resistance. See, when this act comes in, okay, will it be easy for the state to take the land? Will it be easy to take the land for the developmental activities, for the mining activities? Can the state government take the land easily and give it to the private players? No, not at all. We have seen what has happened in the Niyamgiri. Niyamgiri case study is the best case study which shows what kind of power these Pesa empowers the Gram Sabha. Niyamgiri. Do you know what is Niyamgiri? Niyamgiri is a place in Odisha. And you know, in 2013, referring to the Pesa Act, Honorable Supreme Court in a landmark judgment asked the Odisha government to go to the Gram Sabha to get the permission for the bauxite mining of the Kalahandi and Raigada district of Odisha. The local forest dwellers were asked whether the bauxite mining will affect the religious and cultural rights. Guys, you know, there was a Niyamgiri hill. In this Kalahandi and Raigada district, and this Niyamgiri hill was a religious hill. Okay, the cultural traditions, okay, of the tribals were linked to the hill, and that private company was to mine that Niyamgiri hill. So what happened? The tribals rejected the proposal, and the scheme was scrapped. Don't you think this is a testimony? This is a milestone. You see, the case is considered the milestone that shows the power of the Gram Sabha. Okay, one of the rare achievement of the Pesa. So any question comes on Pesa, guys, what example you have to give? Guys? What example you have to give? You have to give the example of the Niyamgiri Hills. You have to give the example of Niyamgiri Hills. Okay, Niyamgiri Hills. Okay, in Gujarat. in Gujarat. See, so what has happened is that this Pesa Act has not been implemented. It took many states it took many states 10 years to just come out with a law, 20 years to just come out with a rules. Just imagine how slow is the implementation. How slow is the implementation? Okay. You see, 40% of the states have not even formulated the rules regarding the Pesa, which highlights the apathetic attitude of the state government towards this act. Okay. Several other legislation brought through by the union government has played a crucial role in deciding the fate of the Pesa, with legislations like Land Acquisition Act and Forest Acquisition Act inoperating several of its provisions. Okay, so many acts which have brought by the parliament, okay, in the last 1.5 decades, okay, like the Land Acquisition Law, the Forest Rights Act, have undone some of the important provisions of the Pesa. One of the important, so there is a disharmony. There is a disharmony between various laws. On one hand, the Pesa gives all the powers to the Gram Sabha, whereas when we go to this Land Acquisition Law, whenever we go to this Forest Rights Act, okay, so Gram Sabha is not that empowered. So there is sometimes a conflict between these laws. Guys, I like to read out the observation made by B.D. Sharma. Mr. B.D. Sharma was an ex-IAS officer from the Madhya Pradesh cadre who worked in the Bastar region, and he was the former commissioner of the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Commission. Okay, he was commission. Okay, guys. So he wrote a letter to the President of India in 2010 saying that the provisions of the Pesa appeared to come as a savior that is designed to erase the historical injustice done to the tribal community. So Pesa is an act which was done to remove the historical injustice to the tribal community. Okay, it endangered unprecedented fervor amongst the tribal throughout the country. Okay, what it did, it engendered. Okay, so all the tribals were excited. Now we are going to get our right. Now we are going to get our justice. But what is the status? Status is there is none implementation. You see, okay, Mawa Nate Mawa Raj. Our village, our rule. Okay, but the fervor, okay, because the ruling elite don't want to implement this Pesa. Ruling elite do not want to implement this Pesa. Okay, because there are mining interests. There are land interest, which will be compromised because of the Pesa Act implementation. The Niyamgiri case says so. You see, Jharkhand, where the 26% of the population, okay, is not basically is tribal. There also these rules have not been framed. Just imagine the status. Okay, just imagine the status. Guys, is this clear? Pesa Act implementation is clear. Will you be able to write? So what will you write that? What will you write? Okay, salient features will you be able to write, or shall I write? Shall I write? Okay, so salient features, I don't think I have to write again. Salient features you have to just copy from here. Salient features you can copy from here. As far as implementation, critically examine the implementation. I'm doing the critical examination of implementation. Okay, critical examination. I'll just make a heading here. Okay, implementation of Pesa. Okay, I'm just giving a heading here, sir, for your reference, sir. Okay, so first will be what? Okay, first you tell. Okay, first 6 out of 10 states only frame the rule. Just imagine. Okay, rules have not been framed. And whenever rules are framed, they are not implemented. They are not executed. Okay. Awareness is lacking. Bureaucratic resistance. Lack of political will. Okay, incongruence with other acts. with other acts, with other acts. What are these other acts? Land Acquisition Act, Land Acquisition Act, FRA Act, FRA Act. Okay, FRA Act. Okay. Anything else? Anyone has any other point? Any other point? Okay. Any other point? Anyone has any other point? Okay, you can write this. You can write more points also. Okay, you can write more points also. Okay, and you can give the better example. Good example. Good example is Niyamgiri. 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 Okay, guys. Is this clear? Is this clear, guys? First question, everyone can write it now. Guys, first question, everyone can write it now. Please quote B.D. Sharma. Please quote the B.D. Sharma. Please quote the B.D. Sharma. Okay, guys. I hope you are following. I hope you are following, guys. Guys, I hope you are following, guys. Okay, now come to the next question, guys. Next question, guys. Okay, critically analyze the electricity bill. Critically analyze the electricity bill. Guys, critically analyze the electricity bill. Okay, let us see what is this bill bringing about. Okay, guys, we all know that the power sector is under various problems. Power sector, there are various problems in the power sectors. Huge problems. Power sector. What are the different? What are the challenges in the power sector? Let us try to first understand the challenges in the power sector. Let us first try to understand the challenges in the power sector. Okay, can you tell me the challenges in the power sector? What are the challenges in the power sector? The main challenge in the power sector, you know, more than 1 lakh crore, more than 1 lakh crore, 1 lakh crore is the payment is due. Okay, you know that 1 lakh crore payment is due. 1 lakh crore payment is due. Okay, guys. Okay. Then what? Then second what? Okay. AT&C losses. AT&C losses. AT&C losses are very high. AT&C losses are very high. Okay. Next price revision. Price revision do not happen. Price revision do not happen. Okay. Next, cross subsidization. Cross subsidization. Cross subsidization. Cross subsidization. Cross subsidization. Okay. What is cross subsidization? What is cross subsidization? See, what we had, what we do to few sectors like agriculture sector, we are giving free power, and we are charging more from where? Industry. Don't you think the industry will become what? Industry has to pay more or not? Will it become economically feasible or not? Tell me, sir. So obviously they will not become economically feasible. Cross subsidization is taking place. So overall the discoms are not in good shape. Discoms are not in good shape. Discoms are not in good shape. Okay. There is a monopoly. There is a monopoly of the discoms. Okay. So what we have to do? There is a huge politicization of power. Okay. So these are some of the points. These are monopoly is there, politicization of the power is there, price revision does not take place, cross subsidization happens, 1 lakh crore payment is due, AT&C losses are there. Okay, guys, very important. Now let us see what this bill talks about. What this bill does, guys. First of all, the bill introduces what? The private player. It brings competition. Right now, only the PSUs, state PSUs can run the discoms. Now it will be even the private participation in the transmission is going to happen. Distribution and transmission is going to happen. Guys, is this clear? Okay, the entry of private players will bring competition. Okay. Second, multiple discoms in one area. So in one area, suppose this one area, here more than two or more discom companies will be available. Okay. So you can choose, I can choose, okay, X company, B company, C company, like in, you know, what is happening? How many of you are using the telephone? Okay, telephone. Okay, so someone is using what? Someone is using company X, someone is using company Y, and suppose company Y is not offering good services, you can switch to company, okay, not? You can switch the company or not. Similarly, there will be multiple discoms in every area. Multiple discoms in every area, which will bring what? Choice and competition. So competition is there, choice is there. Okay, next, formation of apex body. Okay, National Load Dispatch Center. It will create an apex body, National Load Dispatch Center, an apex body which will ensure integrated operation of the power systems in the country. It would also monitor the grid operations and ensure security of the electricity grid. Guys, monitoring of the grid operation. The grid is becoming a lot of challenge. Grid operation is a challenging. Grid operation becoming very complex. Grid operation is becoming complex. Is complex exercise. Okay, because today we have renewable energy, like fossil fuel energy. This load management, okay, on the grid becomes very challenging. So once we have a national body, national load dispatch center, it is going to for effective management of the load. Okay, next is tariff. Okay, in case the distribution of the electricity will be in the same area, okay, there must be minimum tariff. Okay, minimum and maximum tariff. Okay, so right now there is no minimum tariff and no maximum tariff. So minimum and maximum tariff must be there. So minimum tariff, why? Because it will not lead to what? Giving free, no free. Okay, guys. So minimum tariff. Otherwise, what a price war will happen? Price war will happen, and there will be a maximum tariff also to not to protect the customers from any kind of exploitation. To protect the customers from any kind of exploitation. Guys, are you understanding? Guys, are you understanding? Minimum and maximum limit will be there. That minimum fee, okay, this much 100 rupees. A maximum fees 1000 rupees, something like that. I'm not saying that this is a correct fact. I'm just saying, okay, like when you take the mobile connection, so there must be minimum fee or the maximum fee. Someone cannot give you free. Okay, it cannot give you free. Guys, are you understanding? Are you understanding, sir? Sir, are you understanding, sir? Okay, so what is the problem? What is the problem? Why are people protesting it? Why are people protesting it? People are protesting. Why? First of all, farmers. Farmers, what they think, that they will stop, they will not get what? Free power. They will not get free power. They will not get free subsidized power. So farmers are protesting. Second, many of the state governments are protesting that it is against the federal structure. Why? It will give more power to the center, more power to the center over discoms. Over discoms, more power will be given to center over the discoms. That is another problem. Then competition. What? Competition will lead more entities to lucrative and urban areas. Okay, so private companies will come, not a problem, but they will not go to rural areas, because in rural areas paying capacity is not more, so they will only go for urban areas. So what will happen? Disparity will happen. Disparity will happen, and the poor areas, the rural areas will not be served, and the public sector companies will only go there, and the condition will not be good. Okay, guys, are you understanding this? Are you understanding this? And the employees are also protesting. Employees of the power discoms are protesting because it will lead to privatization of the distribution sector, and it will adversely impact the employees. It will also impact the employees. It will also impact the employees. These are the concerns, that amendments will give more power to the center over the appointment of the members of the regulatory bodies. Okay, so center would have more power. This is a federal structure. Federal, it is against the federal structure. Okay, again, the minimum level of purchases, okay, will also reduce. Renewable purchases. Guys, what is this renewable purchase obligation? What is this renewable purchase obligation? See, every discoms have some target that they have to purchase renewable energy, like some proportion of their energy. Okay, so it might discourage that. It might discourage that also. Okay, guys, in the end, you will say that this bill must be sent to the JPC for more discussion. At the same time, okay, reforms are needed. Reforms are needed in the electricity sector. Without reforms, okay, the discoms will become unviable. Discoms will become unviable. So we need to depoliticize the power sector, and we need to bring efficiency in these discoms. Efficiency in discoms. So entry of private players will be a good step. Okay, will be a good step. However, the customers must be protected. Customers must be protected, so there cannot be any exploitation of the customers by these power discom companies. Guys, are you following this? Guys, are you following this? Okay, will you be able to write this answer? How many points you have? 4 points in the salient features and 4 points for criticism. Guys, I hope you will be able to write it. Guys, let me just know. Let me know your feedback. Okay, guys, are you following this? Are you following this, guys? Okay. So, guys, our purpose is what? Our purpose is that we pick articles, we understand the article, and we not just read the article, we go and we delve in deep, okay, and understand that issue and try to write answers. Try to write answers on that topic. So how will we write that? Let us try to write a model answer. Let us try to write a model answer for your benefit. Let me try to write a model answer for your benefit, guys. So what first we'll write, we'll start like this. We'll start the answer. We'll write the electricity. The recently in the parliament. Electricity bill has been introduced. Then we'll write features. Features will write 1, 2, 3, 4. Entry of private players, multiple discoms in one area, formation of apex body, national load dispatch center, and last tariff. Then we'll start loopholes. First loopholes. Against the federal structure. One heading. Just explain that. Second, farmer subsidies will be done away with. Farmers protest subsidies. Next, like that you will write 3, 4 criticisms also. Guys, are you following? In the end, you can write reform is a must. Reform is a must. We cannot continue with this. Here you can start in the recent bill. You can start with the problems also. You can just mention few problems. Increasing debt. Increasing inefficiency. You also can mention, guys. I'll also mention, guys. Can we move on, guys? Can we move on? Do you have the permission to go on? Do I have the permission to go on further? Can we go on to the next question, guys? Can we go on to the next question? Let's. Great, guys. Great. Let us see the third question. Guys. Third question I'm taking from China. Federal issue. Someone is saying, please explain the federal issue. Guys, I can repeat it. I repeat myself. The federal issue is what? See, when this new structure is coming, then what is happening? It is saying that the center will have the power in the appointment of the regulatory body in the electricity sector at the state level also, which will be against the federal principles. Guys, are you following that? Am I correct? I am correct. As far as AT&C losses will reduce, because private sector, when they come, they will work for efficiency. They cannot run in losses. So private sector, entry of private sector automatically reduces the AT&C losses, and it will basically transmission losses. Guys, transmission losses. AT&C losses, transmission losses. Guys, I hope you are now okay with. Can we discuss this question? China has significantly expanded in the Indian Ocean region over the last 3 decades. Critically examine its impact on India and what India can do to manage the threat of China. Guys, recently what we have seen? Recently we have seen that one of the Chinese ship called a spy ship, Yuan Wang 5, is going to visit Sri Lanka's Hambantota port. And this has raised concern in India. Guys. India is concerned, and India is rightly concerned, because this ship has capability, lethal capabilities and aerial reach of 750 kilometers. So from Sri Lanka, if you see the 750 kilometers on the western coast, India has nuclear establishment. So that might raise some concern on our surveillance of our nuclear assets in the western coast. So in this context, although the article does not have much important points, but I have taken a larger issue of Chinese presence increasing in the Indian Ocean. Guys, Indian Ocean, we have to understand few things. What I'm going to teach you today, I'm going to teach you the Malacca Dilemma. The Malacca Dilemma, of China. Then I'm going to teach you string of pearls. And then I'll teach you India's strategy. What should be India's strategy? Guys, you all know that, that China is mostly a continental country. It's only like access to water is through the Pacific. Guys. And there also it is very constrained. If you see the map of China, guys, we see that China is constrained. Why? Because 70% of China's energy, and around 70% of China's trade, flows through this Malacca Strait. Because China also imports a lot of fossil fuels, oil and gas from the Middle East, and this has to go through this Malacca Strait, a narrow strait, which is very strategic, which is very strategic. This is also called what? Okay, these straits are also called what? Okay, choke points. These are called the choke points. Okay, these are called the choke points. Okay, so anytime suppose India decides or the US decides to block this Malacca Strait, then all the energy inflow and the trade routes of China will be blocked. So China will be virtually coming to a standstill. China will virtually come to a standstill. Everybody understands this? Everybody understands this Malacca dilemma? Everybody understands this Malacca dilemma? Okay, because 70%, around 70% of in China's export and 70% of China's import of energy comes through this Malacca dilemma, comes to the Malacca Strait, and that is called Malacca dilemma. Okay, so what is China doing about it? What is China doing about it? China cannot just sit and watch. Okay, so China is building the Belt and Road Initiative. China is building the Belt and Road Initiative, and this is the Belt and Road Initiative from Xinjiang region, to the Gwadar port, and from Gwadar port it will take and it will bring the oil from the Gwadar port and exports also from the Gwadar port. Are you understanding this? Are you understanding this? Through this CPEC, which is the part of the BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, China is trying to okay, circumvent this Malacca dilemma. Guys, are you following this or not? Guys, let me know this. Are you following this or not? Belt and Road Initiative. The motivation of China behind the Belt and Road Initiative is to, okay, see a way around the Malacca dilemma. Guys, very interesting. Okay. So what China is trying to do is, first of all, it is trying to solve its Malacca dilemma. And secondly, what China is trying to do is China is trying to build, okay, ports. You see this Chittagong port, Kyaukyu port, then you see Hamanchota, then you see Gwadar. Through this port, what China is trying to do? China is trying to encircle India. And that is called string of pearls. Guys, are you following this or not? Okay. So the attempt by China to build ports in India's neighboring country in the Indian Ocean and trying to encircle India to limit its reach and strategic interest. That is what is called string of pearls. Okay, guys, very important. String of pearls. This is the Malacca dilemma, and this is called the string of pearls. Okay. So you see, okay, what is happening is India is getting encircled by China. So India is rightly concerned when some ports, okay, of some of the ships of Sri Lanka, as China is coming to Sri Lanka, India will be rightly concerned. That what is going to happen. Okay, so India has to prepare. So you see what has happened in the last couple of decades. Okay, you see China has now 350 warship. And it is grown beyond the US Navy. Now China is the great maritime power. Okay, so like now if you see Chinese defense budget is 4 times that of India. Okay, so it is very difficult for countries like India to really match Chinese military might. Okay, and we all know, as far as the army is concerned, okay, like land is concerned, okay, in this Himalayan region, okay, it will be very difficult. Okay, for India. Okay, it will be very difficult for India to match the China, because the geography is favoring the China. Okay, in this region, geography is favoring the China. Okay, so it will be very difficult for India to match China at the border level, because China has built a lot of infrastructure in the border area where India will struggle to do so. So what India can do? India can strengthen its navy and really, okay, block this the choke point, the Malacca, and use this Malacca Dilemma of China. Okay, so India has to bolster its navy. That is why it says that the author says that India cannot just be concerned. India should build its own navy, okay, own infrastructure, and then India should build cooperation with other maritime power, cooperation with other maritime power, okay, maritime powers, okay, to counter this Chinese threat. To counter this Chinese threat, India has already now starting to build, okay, various assets in the Indian Ocean. Can you name few? Can you name few? What is where is India building? Necklace of diamonds. Necklace of diamond. Can you name few of this necklace? Can you name few of the diamonds? Okay, Seychelles, Chabahar, Seychelles, Chabahar. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So India is also trying to cooperate with various Indian Ocean island countries. Indian Ocean island countries. And India is also trying to build its water radar system. Okay, in the Indian Ocean to really keep an eye on Chinese presence. Keep an eye on the Chinese presence in the Indian Ocean region, because Indian Ocean is very important for India. The Indian Ocean is important for India. Okay, why? Indian Ocean is important for India. Indian Ocean is important for India. Why? Because India also imports 95% of imports, 95% of imports through ocean, and 86% of its oil import from ocean. Just imagine, India is also dependent on Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean is of great strategic significance for India. Indian Ocean is of great strategic significance of India. Indian Ocean is our great strategic. So can you name one of the organization where India is trying to collaborate with the maritime countries of the Indian Ocean? Can you name that organization? Let me see who can name the organization. Okay, any question comes on the Indian Ocean, you have to name that organization. Let me see who can answer. Okay, someone is saying BIMSTEC. Yeah, IOR. Very good. Indian Ocean rim countries. Very good. IOR, Indian Ocean rim countries. Guys, great. Indian Ocean Rim Association. Very good, guys. Okay, Indian Ocean Commission. Also, someone is saying we have Malabar exercise. Okay, so these are, India is also trying to cooperate. India is trying to build a multilateral, okay, organization like Indian Ocean region rim countries. Okay, so it's very important. Please prepare this this Indian Ocean rim countries. Okay, very important, guys. Are you okay with this topic? Will you be able to handle this now, guys? Will you be able to handle this now? Okay. Sagar initiative. Yes, India has a Sagar initiative also. Sagar initiative also. Very good. Sagar initiative also India has. Guys, Sagar, please write down the Sagar initiative of India. Okay, security and growth. Okay, great, guys, great. So, guys, let me just briefly, let me see what else is remaining. Okay, guys. Okay, now briefly. Okay, there was a news item that, okay, we are going to again observe the Partition Horror Day. We are going to remember the Partition Horror Day. Okay, so like Horror Remembrance Day. So let us try to understand why partition took place. What were the events that led to the partition? Okay, let us try to understand that. And what was this two-nation theory, guys? Okay, let me just see it. If I have that thing. Okay. I think I don't have it, but let me just explain to you. See what happened. And I'll first explain what do you understand by the two-nation theory and who was responsible, like how was it responsible for India's partition. Okay, guys, let me just tell you. See what happened in the 1857 revolt. What happened? Okay, the Muslims participated in the revolt. Okay, and after 1857, what happened? The Britishers, okay, made up a policy to divide the country, okay, because during this 1857 revolt, okay, there was a Hindu-Muslim unity. There was a Hindu-Muslim unity. Okay, so Britishers thought we will divide the country on okay, divide the country on religious lines, caste lines, regional lines, okay, so that there cannot be any unity, and if there is no unity, then there will be no threat to the British Empire. Divide et impera. Okay, so that was the policy which the Britishers, okay, took up after the 1857 revolt. Okay, so what they did, they started favoring one community over the other and started discriminating against the community. Okay, so when the Indian National Congress started coming up and started this national movement, okay, so the Britishers started favoring which organization? Can you tell me which organization? It started favoring what? The Muslim League. It started favoring the Muslim League. Okay, why? Because it used the Muslim League, okay, against the Congress, okay, to basically weaken the freedom struggle movement, because a Muslim League, okay, if they could successfully challenge the authority of the Indian National Congress to represent India, okay, then the Britishers could just like dismiss that movement, the movement, and that is what Britishers tried to do. And the highlight of this divide and rule policy was the Bengal Partition. Which year? Can you tell me which year Bengal Partition? Which year Bengal Partition took place? 1905. Very good. 1905. That was a highlight under Lord Curzon. Okay. Who was the Governor General that time? Who was the Viceroy that time? Who was the Viceroy that time? Viceroy. Lord Curzon. And this was the policy which basically led to what? Partition. Okay, this was the policy which led to partition. Okay, they tried to divide the country on religious lines. Okay, they started favoring one organization over the other. They started favoring some caste in jobs. They started favoring some people in army, in the appointment in army. Okay, so with this they tried to create what? They tried to create a lot of what? Division. They tried to create a lot of division in the society, in the country, and that led to what? The partition of the country. That led to the partition of the country. Okay, guys, is this clear? Guys? Is this clear? Anyone has any other doubt? Yeah, separate electorate was also introduced. Okay, this was also part of divide and rule. 1909. Okay, guys. 1909. Okay, guys. Separate electorate. Yes. Communal award. That was also one. Okay, so they started favoring communal organizations. Okay, very important. Okay. So Britishers, they tried to divide the country, weaken the national movement so that they can prolong their rule over India, So okay, so this two-nation theory, okay, was basically, if I can say so, was originated in the Britishers. Okay, the origin was in Britishers, but yes, some of the Indians that time, okay, they also took it up, like Syed Ahmed Khan. Okay, he started criticizing the Congress, and yeah, some of the Indian intellectuals also, okay, also took up this two-nation theory. Okay, but the main responsible, okay, were the Britishers. If question says who was responsible for the partition of India, it was no other than Britishers. The Britishers were responsible for the partition of India. Okay, it was just the Britishers, because they wanted to divide the India. They started creating fear in the minds of one community against the other community, and they started favoring some of the leaders, some of the communal leaders. They started favoring, and they started to increase their stature among the masses, and they pitted it against the Congress. Okay, guys, is this clear? As far as next question, events unfolding leading to partition. India events. So we have to start with Cripps mission, then Quit India motion, then cabinet mission. Okay, like direct action plan. Okay, like that. First of all, 1940. Okay, 1940 Pakistan resolution. 1940 Pakistan resolution. Cripps mission. Okay, Quit India movement. Okay, after that what? Cabinet mission plan. Okay, and then last Mountbatten plan. Mountbatten plan, Indian Independence Act. Mountbatten plan, Indian Independence Act. Okay, guys. Okay, so I would like to hear feedback. Today's session feedback. Was it useful? Was it useful? What do you think? Was it useful? Okay. Last question from ethics. Let me take the last question from ethics. What is partition? What is what is patriotism? Sorry, what is patriotism? Discuss how it can be instilled in youth. So why did I frame this question? Let me just explain to you. Why did I frame this way? What is patriotism? What is patriotism? What is patriotism? How can be instilled? So patriotism is nothing but love for our country. Love for our country. Okay. Support for our country. Supporting our country is patriotism. And you know, in some of the state now they are showing the movie Gandhi. Okay, to instill the patriotic feeling among the youths, particularly the young children. Okay, you see this Tiranga campaign is also for what? Tiranga campaign is also for what? Patriotism. Tiranga campaign, Tiranga campaign, Tiranga campaign. So question will come, how to instill, okay, patriotism among the youths, among the children. So by sharing the stories, the sacrifices of the freedom struggle movement. Okay, Bhagat Singh. Okay, Bhagat Singh. Okay, and these there are a lot of sacrifices made by the freedom struggle movement leaders. Okay, Lala Lajpat Rai. So many. Okay, so many. Okay, so this is through that we can instill patriotism. Through that we can instill patriotism by teaching them the history. By teaching them the history that okay, the freedom which we exercise today, the freedom which we enjoy today is not easy, was not a gift. We had to give our life, okay, for this freedom. So that we should not forget that fact, and that is the biggest patriotic teaching we can have by reading about our history, by reading about our freedom struggle movement, by reading about the contribution made by our great leaders like Bhagat Singh and other leaders. Okay, guys. Subhash Chandra Bose, the great national leader, Subhash Chandra Bose, and other leaders. Okay. Books, teachings. Yes, guys. Okay. Now I would like to know your feedback. How is the discussion? Let us just raise your hand. If you like the discussion, raise your hand. Okay. So this discussion goes daily, guys. Daily. The attempt is what? To help you master the answer writing and the mains current affairs. It's not like a Hindu editorial discussion like you will find on anywhere in the country. It is very focused, mains oriented, and I will try my level best in next. See, every day we are going to discuss 5 questions. Just imagine in 1 year we have 365 days. So 365 days into 5. Just imagine how many questions we will be able to discuss. Around 1800 to 2000. Around 1800 to 2000 questions we will be discussing. 400 days we have till next mains. We have around 400 days. Nowhere in the country, anywhere, you will get 2000 questions. Any test series you join, any initiative you join, they will not give you more than some 400, 500 questions. We are going to solve 2000 questions, and that to a discussion every day. Slowly, we are going to build our knowledge. We are going to cover current affairs. We are going to understand answer writing, nitty-gritties of answer writing. We have to understand the presentation of answer writing. Everything will be taught. Facts will be shared. You will become a champion of answer writing. Okay.